Back at the Baja 1000, Jerry Garrett along with Spencer Lowe and Ivan Stewart, and we're watching the overall race leader. This is the Ford F-150 of Paul and Dave Simon. We'd like to be showing you a little bit of pit action of the Simons, but Spencer Lowe has been banned from the pits in the Simon area because of some earlier problems. Every time it seems that Simon's getting the lead in a race, Spencer shows up to interview him and they promptly drop out. So it's got to be a running joke between the Simons and Spencer Lowe in this race. The Simons have had a banner year, and we intend that pun as we look back on their year with a new race car. Back at the Parker 400, these banners were picked up by Dave when he had a little mishap at one of the checkpoints. Later, the vehicle dropped out of the race with a blown motor. Early out for the vehicle's debut. But at the next race, that was at the Nissan 400, they had the lead until the first pit stop. This is driver change, Dave getting out, Paul ready to get in. And they were out front once again until problems struck, and you guessed it, right after Spencer Lowe came by to interview them.
Out of here in about 5 minutes. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's when the problems started, and the Simons started pointing the finger at Spencer Lowe. Hey, we were leading until you came to our pits. The San Felipe 250, same thing. They were leading. Spencer Lowe shows up to interview him on their first pit stop. At the Nevada 500, we had an in-car camera test going with the Simons, but unfortunately, we spent a lot of time sitting beside the road watching other people go by.
Here, 13 minutes back, fourth place.
Spencer came by to talk to him, and, you know, shortly thereafter, doggone it, the Simons were on the roadside again, so that was it. Dave says, stay out of our pits, Spencer. The Simons' luck improved. Well, as a matter of fact, it did. They went to the Baja 500, and they went third overall. Great showing. And it's important to note, Spencer Lowe didn't go to that race. Here at the Fireworks 250, Dave Simon had some problems right after he was interviewed. Brakes went out on the car, had to jump out, drag alongside, bulldog that thing to a stop, shaved the end off his cowboy boots in the process. No more pit reporters in the Simon pit, that's for sure. Well, the Gold Coast 300, another good race for the Simons, unfortunately ended by the roadside. We made sure we kept Spencer Lowe out of their pits, though. Well, we don't want to give you the impression that the Simons season's been a total washout, because it's been a very impressive effort with a brand new truck. But they are dark horses in this race, aren't they, Ivan?
Well, that's exactly right, Jerry. They've been very fast and very competitive, but they have a ton of problems. But here they are leading the Baja 1000. Lights are on, looking good. I don't believe they've had a bit of trouble all day long.
Well, they won the Baja 1000 twice previously in 7S, a lot slower class, and they apparently know how to get to La Paz.
Well, they certainly do, and they're very, very fast in this truck, but they've got a long way to go. We'll see what happens, Jerry.
Well, now David Ashley getting ready to pull out of the pits. We saw him in an earlier pit stop. Looked like he might be out of the race. Got something sparking in the left front there. He's evidently going again. What are that, new brake pads, Ivan?
Yeah, probably what they've done, Jerry, put on brand new brake pads, and they'll spark for a little bit. In fact, a metallic line, and I'm sure that's what that is. Not a problem.
Well, a lot of dark pits along here, and this is one of the darkest, but we wanted to show you this pit stop here. This is John Schneider. We showed you at the top of the show. This is the guy that's the paraplegic that's hoping to drive the full distance along with his co-driver, Lance Magan, and they're doing a great job. They're second just behind David Ashley at this point.
Boy, that is fantastic. You talk about the ultimate challenge, Jerry. He's got it.
Well, they're ready to complete their pit stop here and pull out as Jimmy Smith pulls in behind them. Jimmy Smith, by the way, is driving a truck that's also built by Russ Wernemont, the same guy who built the truck for the Simons, who's leading this race, and also for Rob McCachran, who's up in the top 5 overall. Well, let's take a look now at our leaderboard. The Simons lead Robbie Gordon, Rob McCachran, Brian Stewart. That's good news for Ivan Stewart, and John Swift. Rounding out the top 10, all 10 are trucks. The finish from Baja after this.
3 reasons not to buy BFGoodrich TA tires. The only rocky road you can handle comes in a sugar cone. You think Baja is when you're laughing on the outside but crying on the inside. You believe competition fosters antisocial behavior. BFGoodrich TA Tires for the rest of us.
A twin blade from Bic?
What's in it for me?
I'm a big man.
This is new?
A twin for normal skin and a twin for sensitive, right? It was good.
The new Bic Twin Select.
Made a big man out of me.
Back at the Baja 1000, Jerry Garrett along with Ivan Stewart, and we're watching Paul Simon streak into the darkness in this race, still with the lead overall. Look up top now from our helicopter, and Ivan, those lights are really lighting up the night, aren't they?
Well, he's got a lot of them on there, Jerry, and they are lighting things up. Evidently, he's not worried about the alternator and the wiring, and he's having a good run.
They call that a mobile baseball stadium. Let's look inside now. This is with Walker Evans and our Goodyear in-car camera, and got an unusual perspective here of night racing with the in-car camera, Ivan. They're going through a checkpoint right here.
That's right. And it's really, things have changed, Jerry. When the lights come on and the sun goes down in Baja, I've never seen it get darker than it does in Baja. And you can see right here what he's got to contend with. One of the biggest things he's going to watch for is not getting lost, not getting on the wrong road. And we'll probably see some arrows and some reflective tape coming up pretty soon. And that's the only way he knows he's on the right road.
It's easy to get lost down here. People tend to take things like reflective tape and arrows, don't they, as souvenirs?
Well, that's exactly right. Exactly right. What'll happen is the little girls around the ranches take the red ribbons and they put them in their hair, and the cattle will eat the ribbons and the markers and what have you. So it's really a challenge to find your way at night.
Is it easier or tougher to drive at night, Ivan?
Well, a lot of people like to drive at night because there's no other distractions on the side of the road. In other words, all you can see is what your lights are showing you and the actual road. You don't have the distractions. But it's very difficult to see the correct road. And right here we see a marker on the right. There's a marker that shows he's on the right road. But if the fog come in now, you can imagine how difficult it could be.
Well, right now, Walker Evans knocking on the door of the top 10 overall. He had a few problems today. He's had a lot of power steering problems, thrown a few belts off. He's even laid the truck over on its side once, but he's still competitive. And like they say, this is a long race, and that can average out a lot of problems you've had.
Yeah, let me tell you, Walker Evans is one tough competitor. He knows Baja. He's won this race many times. Great guy.
Well, let's take a look now at the pit stop on up the road of Dan Smith. This is his last pit before the finish line, and they've got brake problems here. He is also knocking on the door of the top 10 overall, very close to where Walker Evans is on time. Matter of fact, Walker's in for his last pit stop, hopefully, and he's got a long day behind him, doesn't he? He's been up all day and half the night.
He certainly has, Jerry, and I'm sure he's getting tired. It looks like they're welding something up in the back of his truck here. But I'm sure he'll be fine. He's getting a drink, and I'm sure he wants to get on the road.
Well, he's close to the finish of yet another Baja 1000, a great finishing record for him down here. Looks like they're about ready to go here, back out into the race. A lot of pit activity going on, but the Simons are streaking toward the lights of La Paz. They have victory within their sights. Will they do it? We'll be back right after this.